And we should be live.
Hi guys.
Hi guys, so to introduce ourselves, my name is Jonathan Casas. I am a master's student in my school psychology course here at UTSA.
Hi, my name's Sophia Bryant. I am a psych major with a minor in chem and an emphasis on pre-med. Oh, and I'm a senior.
And right now we are taking over essentially Mentor Mondays. So if you guys remember, previously Mentor Mondays used to be ran by Diana, but she has recently graduated, and so with her being graduated, now it's up to me to have to take care of all this. And Sophia right now is helping me, at least for now, with the stream. So if you decide to come back and help me keep streaming,
Sure, let's see how this goes.
we'll see how everything goes. But at least for today, we wanted to start off with the new semester with a kind of a welcome back sort of video. I know there are specific videos that have been uploaded in the past that talk about specific concerns or things that many mentors and mentees would want to
Mhm.
learn about. But for today, at least I thought, hey, why don't we just take it easy, just go over a few things and also talk about at least how we and how a lot of other people kind of get back into the grind when it comes to
Right.
starting school again.
Right, because coming back from that winter break, especially since we got like a longer one this year, I don't know if anybody noticed, but it was a month long. So yeah, it's been really hard for your girl to bounce back into school.
Yeah.
I know for a lot of people it has as well. So we have a little bit of cool tips and tricks that we found out work for us and that we think might help y'all. But I totally forgot. So we're peer mentors, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're with the Roadrunner Transition Center and First to Go and Graduate Center here at UTSA. So I'm a transfer student mentor, and
I am a first generation mentor.
yeah, so just to settle that. But I guess we should start with a welcome.
Yeah.
What do we do?
So for the welcome back, I guess we can say like, well, welcome back is one thing, and I guess what we want to talk about is, well, let's just talk about like how the break went. So how did your break go?
Oh, my break was really nice. I had taken organic chemistry one the semester before, so I was done. I was super burnt out, so I really just slept and ate a lot of food, like a lot of good food, like good Mexican food. So I
Yeah,
was happy.
just to get back into it. Like, I've had all
Yeah,
my energy burnt out these last couple of weeks. I need to get back into it.
yeah. How was yours?
It was good. I got to do the same thing as you. Good Mexican food. Got to pass out for a while. Didn't have to worry about reading most of the time. So
Right.
really that helped out a lot. And I guess for me, it's good to always have that break, especially
Mhm.
because if you're working all the time, you don't want to get burnt out too easily. So it's always good to
Right.
just, take a month just to do what you want, treat yourself,
Right.
make sure you feel good by the time you come back.
Yeah. And hopefully y'all did treat yourselves. Being a college student is hard. A lot of people don't take that into credit, especially with people doing really hard majors. So it's nice to just be able to vegetate, relax, enjoy family.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Maybe go on a little vacation if you go on a vacation.
Oh yeah,
So
that,
it's
that's
always nice.
that's what I got to do. I got to do New Orleans for the first time.
Really, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I went to New Orleans too.
Really?
Yeah, I was there for a day though.
I was there for like 3 days.
Okay, see, I wish we would have switched because I went on that civil rights and social justice trip here, and so we went to like 4 different states in like 6 days. It was exhausting,
Oh my
and
god.
didn't like get to stay in one city for more than 24 hours, except for like Memphis.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting though. That was also exhausting.
Oh.
Don't know why I did it, but it was awesome. Great experience. If you go to UTSA, try your best to get into that because it's really awesome.
See, and that's pretty good. I mean, it's still really good that you got to visit all those places
Mhm.
in that short period of time. With me, it was the first time I'd ever been out of like Texas.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, like I've been to Mexico before, but I've never really explored other states. So
Mhm.
to go to New Orleans for the first time and get to see like what it was all about and everything, it was
Yeah,
like really interesting.
that's awesome. Did you have a Benet?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the one thing I
I was
told
about to be
myself.
mad at you if you did it.
No. That was the first thing I told myself. I was like, no, if I don't have a day here in New Orleans, then I can't say I really went to New Orleans.
Right.
Felt
Yeah.
like I just went to just some other state and just never really explored. Like, I went to Louisiana, not just.
And not did Louisiana justice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
I
that
feel
too.
you.
So, I guess with that being said, so you kind of touched upon how when you come back, one of the first things is that we're really out of it coming back from that
Right.
break. So jumping back into the swing of things can always be very difficult, especially because for us as students, we get used to kind of how breaks work. You know, ever
Mhm.
since we're like in elementary and all that, there's like a set schedule. So to
Right.
come back and this one, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore, this may be a little bit more different in the sense that one, you get like a month long instead of like 2 weeks, and also you are not really taking the same classes as you were previously. You be
Right.
taking a brand new set of classes. It's a brand new semester.
Like it's not high school anymore,
It's not.
which is one of the hardest things for me when I first came to college and I went on my first winter break was okay, so I have a whole new set of professors and I have a whole new set of class schedules.
Yeah.
That means a whole new notebook for everything. Like it was insane to me. And then right after that, you have Martin Luther King Day.
Oh yeah.
So then you get like a 4 day, or well, if you don't have classes on Fridays, you get a 4 day.
Mhm.
And it's like okay, so it was like break after break, and now there's no more breaks, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Or for me, I thought it was kind of sad.
No, yeah, especially because in that very beginning section, it's like you were saying, you've had all this large break, and then only for you to come back, and then the next week you have a couple of days off, depending
Right.
on some of your professors. I know some of my professors, even this week, I got one of my professors telling me, "Oh, we're not having class for X, Y, and Z reason,"
Yeah.
because even they are also kind of still in that mindset where they're on
Mhm.
break. So everybody right now is just chaotic. Everybody's saying, "Oh, don't come to this," or "Do show up to this." It's a lot to take in.
Right.
So I think what we want to try and deliver and communicate is that there are some things that we want to check out and make sure to touch on right as you're coming into it. So I guess the first thing we want to look at is ASAP.
Right. Okay. So if you don't know what ASAP is, that's pretty much where you go to make your schedule, pay your tuition, register for classes, and you can do something else. Degree Works.
You can do degree works. I believe you can also buy your books on there.
You can buy your books on there as well. And there's okay, please just go to ASAP. It's utsa.asap.edu. And you want to check ASAP. You want to make sure that you are on track with your graduation because you could have scheduled for classes and you have to make sure you pass those classes in order to get the classes that you wanted for this next
Yeah.
semester. Or if you were on a wait list, you want to make sure you're either on the wait list or you're off the wait list and hopefully got into your class, or what are the measures that you need to do because you were still on that wait list.
Yeah. And it's also like you were mentioning, ASAP pretty much is where everything is at. And if
Right.
you're not really checking that website, especially right before you start at the beginning of the school year, we're going to touch upon the school calendar in a little bit. But when you see that that school calendar is telling you this specific date is when classes start, when everything starts getting back into gear, you would have already wanted to start looking at that stuff and been like, okay, I know that I have already had to pay my tuition by this date. I
Right.
know I got to be looking at my schedule and seeing that, hey, my degree work says that these classes I've taken, they're all good. Now I can jump into the next classes without have to worry about the prereqs and all that.
Right. And genuinely, what I do is a couple weeks before the semester starts, check your email
Oh yeah.
because your professors will email you, especially if you're going to be taking labs. I know for most labs, they don't have labs the first 2 weeks of school, so
Hmm.
people will just show up to the lab
Yeah.
at 8 a.m. and you don't have a lab. So you definitely want to check your email. Don't just like throw your laptop to the side and under the bed and forget about it. Like, you need to be able to check your email
Hmm.
so when you get to school, you kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And ASAP actually will show you where your classes are at.
Really?
I just remember that. Yeah.
Oh
So
right, the
when you
map.
go on like your list or
Hmm.
whatever, it'll have like the building and the room
Hmm.
number. You ought to know where your classes are before you come,
Yeah.
because then you're gonna look crazy, like I did.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to know where those are
Yeah,
at.
especially if you, because I know there are some students out there that have classes not only here on main campus, but they also got downtown classes as well.
Yes, that's such a big mistake people do is that they sign up for classes
Hmm.
and they don't check what campus it's at.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that a lot of
Yeah,
people
and
trip
then
on.
they end up going to a room and it's not existing on campus. Yeah, so make sure your classes are where you want to have your classes at because you can get super mixed up.
Yeah, and you want to check this stuff constantly because I know at least when I registered for classes in the very beginning, some of the information wasn't available. I guess some of the teachers or
Right.
professors were just not finalized yet,
Hmm.
but it wasn't until like the week of that I started having everything that they started filling it in, like, oh, it's now in this building by this professor this
Right,
time.
right, right, right.
So you want to constantly be keeping up with this stuff in the very beginning. And I know now that we're like what 3 weeks into the semester, a lot
Yeah,
of this,
yeah, we are 3 weeks in. That's kind of crazy.
yeah, we're like right in it now.
Mhm.
I know a lot of this stuff may seem like, oh, I know this is a lot of stuff we're talking about like in the past, but at least for next semester, when you start going back and doing this all over again, only this time it's an even bigger break because we have like 3 months if you're not taking summer school.
Mhm.
You'd want to have these things kind of like check marked off because if you don't or you miss something, it can make your process of going back in, especially if you're very new at all this, the transition can be very difficult.
Right, especially for our transfer students who just transferred in
Oh yeah.
this semester. I know that's a really big thing. You're new to a new campus, you don't know what's going on, you haven't really met anybody. You definitely want to check ASAP and your email. I can't stress like email enough to you guys. Like that's a really big thing.
Yeah. And I guess what we were touching upon with all of ASAP, there is another system that you're gonna have to want to check, and that's Blackboard.
Oh, Blackboard.
Oh yeah.
Cursed Blackboard. I can't
Uh,
stand Blackboard.
no, neither can I, but it's the bane that holds us all together.
Yes.
So, for people who don't know what Blackboard is essentially the place where all of your information for everything that your classes is at. I know for a fact that my professors, they talk about Blackboard like if it's the one thing, like their emails, they don't care. Meeting
Right.
with them, don't care. They'll tell you immediately with meeting them, you want to check Blackboard for everything. And that's the reason why I talk about it now is because once you've already got the logistics stuff like your payments, your tuition, your classes, your registration all figured out, you then want to move on to Blackboard because that's really where the grid of like syllabuses are at,
Right.
your content for your classes, and really that's where you're gonna spend really the majority of your time in ETSA really.
Yeah. Definitely Blackboard is a lot more than just checking your grades. You definitely want to check your announcements on Blackboard because that's really where your professors are going to talk to you. They kind of know as college students that we don't answer emails or read emails,
Yeah.
and neither do they sometimes.
Mhm.
But on an announcement, you can actually talk to your professor directly through a discussion board, and they'll answer you. But your announcements are going to let you know, okay, did class get canceled today?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. If not, what room was our class moved to because something happened in the main building?
Yeah.
Like, you definitely want to make sure that you're keeping up with Blackboard, and it also helps you keep up with your grades. You want to know where you're standing in a class. You don't want to just be kind of up in the air about things.
Yeah, it's exactly how you're stating before, and those announcements are incredibly important because while there are opportunities for you to see kind of your announcements through email, and sometimes Blackboard themselves will email you telling you that something has changed or some
Yeah.
new update has come up. Those announcements are incredibly important. I know for my professors at least, they always communicate with me through Blackboard and they tell me, yeah, we're doing this or we're changing this through the syllabus.
Right.
So a lot of that stuff becomes very important for you to have to keep track of, much more than it is just your standard emails and text messages, especially
Mhm.
because in these first few weeks, they add things very quickly. Like sometimes if you log into Blackboard, you see that you have like 200 notifications or something.
Right.
That's all of them adding everything. So you'd want to go in there and check pretty much any folder that they've developed for that class. Most of mine usually break it up between content, the syllabus, and really
Yeah.
any other folders that they think that would be necessary.
The syllabus is literally going to be your best friend. Don't just overlook your syllabus. It kind of helps to. So on my iPad, on my homepage, I made a little folder with all my syllabi.
Hmm.
Um, that's going to let you know when you have an exam, or that's going
Oh
to let you
yeah.
know when that paper is due, or when that professor. Some professors just decide not to have class
Hmm.
on random days.
Yeah, they just
Like
decide.
I have professors that are like, oh yeah, we're not having class on March, blah blah blah, and it's like,
Hmm.
I'm not even gonna ask questions. That's
Yeah.
fine. So you definitely want to check your syllabus, and you might want to read through it before you get to class because you might have a really cool professor, but your final is 50% of your grade.
Oh, yeah. That
You
gives
might
me
not like
nightmares.
that, so you
No.
definitely might want to check that.
Yeah, no. It's like the syllabus is pretty much the de facto, like how the whole program or how that class is going to go from start to bottom. They'll tell you the information such as your professor's emails, how you can get office hours with them,
Right.
really the location of your class, and then from there they'll break it down. They'll give you the usual spiel of this is what the class is all about. Here's the
Mhm.
nitty gritty, and then they break down the assignments. I know mine. They break down the assignments pretty well. They tell me
Yeah.
this is what it is. This is when it's due. These are the expectations we have for it. And they'll go through everything, and it's as you mentioned, they have usually a calendar at the very end that tells you
Mhm.
these are the dates and when we want you to do these readings, these quizzes,
Right.
or these homeworks, or these essays, and this is how the breakdown of the grade system is. All of that information is on that like one Word document. And it's funny because a lot of the professors will tell you when you first start asking questions like, oh, what about this or what about that? Most of the time they'll tell you to go back to the syllabus and
Hmm.
reread it. I know I've had professors who even made the first quiz like a syllabus quiz.
Yeah. I have a professor where for my lab you had to make a hundred on the syllabus quiz in order
Mhm.
to access all the labs.
Oh man, that's the one.
Yeah. So like you have to syllabus are definitely your key and they also help you stay really, really organized. A lot of people actually fail the spring semester because of not being organized. So fall it's like, okay, you come into school, okay, we have Thanksgiving, and then you come for 2 weeks and we have finals and you go for Christmas break.
Yeah.
But spring semester is the time when college students really like we're just not in our groove anymore and like we've just been work and now it's like we get to relax and it's like I want to keep relaxing, I don't want to you know work anymore.
Mhm.
So that's when like you have to start strong, you have to finish strong. So definitely being organized is a really good tool in being successful your spring semester.
Yeah.
I know I'm finally using my planner. I bought a really expensive planner, so I'll use it.
Mhm.
So that's helping me so far, so good.
Yeah, and then I guess we can touch on stuff like that, like planners and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I know I personally don't really have a physical planner. I know you started
Mhm.
carrying around one. I usually like to use stuff like Google Calendar and my notes on my phone
Mhm.
because for me, since I always got my phone on me,
Yeah.
they'll ding me every single time I have stuff like, oh, this assignment is due or you have this
Right.
thing coming up. So that's kind of like how I've gotten used to my planner, but I
Mhm.
know a lot of people like to use the physical pen and paper planners that they
Yeah.
have all the time.
It's like with ebooks. Like
Hmm.
you have your people who love like a hard book textbook,
Yeah.
and then people who love like the ebook.
Hmm.
I like the textbook.
Yeah.
I'm weird. I like to carry around heavy things, considering my planner is like 50 pounds. But yeah, like there's just like
Mm.
whatever floats your boat and helps you do you the best way is what you should do.
Yeah. And it
Try
goes.
both. I would.
Yeah. I know some people that do both because they're afraid that even if they miss out their planner, their phone will pick up the slack and whatever it is,
Right.
or vice versa. Sometimes they won't write stuff down. But those are really important for the spring semester, I guess, especially when you're starting to start out, because I know once you get all those syllabuses and if you're taking 4 or 5 classes, that's a lot of classes to be keeping track of.
Yeah, it's
And
rough.
I know I personally like to do is I like to dedicate like a Saturday or Sunday, at least that
Mhm.
first week. Once I get all the syllabuses, I know people have confirmed that really it's not going to change too much.
Right.
I go down, I spend like a couple of hours just sitting down and just going through it and just putting everything into those planners and just
Mhm.
being like, all right, I know it's all color coordinated, it's all being put into the
Yeah.
calendar, so I know I already have everything settled for all those 4 or 5 classes.
Right.
And I know for some people, they kind of go, they just say, oh, you know what, I'll just show up and I'll just figure it out as time goes on. They're really like winging it most of the time.
Mhm.
As much as I want to believe that winging it is the proper way to do things,
Guys, it doesn't work. Take it from me because I've done it. It doesn't
no,
work.
it doesn't
I did
work.
it for a whole week and it doesn't work.
Mm-mm. It doesn't work. It just adds way too much stress on
Yeah.
whatever stressful thing you're into, especially if you're taking very advanced, very demanding classes.
Yeah. Like you want to work smarter, not harder, because things we're already doing are hard. So like, don't make it harder on yourself.
Yeah,
That's always my mindset for everything.
yeah. So it's like stuff like that, like the little bits and pieces that help you long term wise
Mhm.
not have to worry about when you do come back that, oh, this semester because you touched upon it. Whenever we come back, it feels like we're a little bit more on the dread compared to the previous semester because in that previous semester we're very like, oh yeah, we gotta be focused, we gotta be going at it like 100%.
It's like exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Fall is like I don't know. Fall is just so much more exciting for me because it's like, oh, summer's over. I
Yeah.
finally like I would go home during the summer, so I'm like, oh, I finally get to go back to my apartment and like I'm a hermit, so like be by myself and like with my roommates, and like you're like, okay, new classes.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot. It's not cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting, and then you get spring semester, and you're like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, you're just
Yeah.
like right in the thick of it, and that's one of the reasons why we're talking about it now is that we think it's that much of a concern that if we're
Mhm.
not really touching upon it or like trying to get on top of it, it could end up being as difficult long term wise. So
Right.
some stuff like that. Another thing that we want to touch on is how your advisor comes into play in all this?
Oh, yes, the handy dandy advisor.
Yeah, so for those of you who have not met with your advisor, I would strongly recommend to say hi to them and meet with them for the first time in a long time because sometimes while your advisor may seem like a distant voice that you kind of know, kind of heard about
Hmm.
before, realistically they will help you in trying to schedule everything, especially if you also are considering things like, I don't know, adding a minor, doing a new
Hmm.
major, or things like that, where you meeting with them will help you get kind of like a different perspective of how you should be approaching your college career.
Right. So, for me and my advisor, or personally for me, when I came into college, I was already like so many credits
Hmm.
ahead, so I was already lost because I'm taking like sophomore classes, but I'm really a freshman
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah.
And so, like, I think the best thing is when you're done with those core classes and it's time for you to like do your major, like, you should go to your advisor already with a plan of what kind of classes you want to take.
Hmm.
And my seniors, go to your advisor. You want to make sure you're going to be able to graduate. Please visit them. And I'm going to practice what I preach because I have not visited her.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen my own advisor. I
Mhm.
know we're still trying to get something together because my advisor, at least, I don't know who your advisor is, but mine is an actual like faculty of my program,
Oh,
so
really?
they're like a professor.
Oh,
So
okay.
that process is a little more difficult. I'm guessing
Yeah.
for
No,
undergraduate,
mine's just a.
yeah, just a regular
Her whole
advisor.
job is just to be an advisor.
I see.
She
Well,
doesn't teach.
yeah, in that sense, then yeah, it's like you said, you gotta practice what you preach and meet with them whenever possible.
Yeah.
But you will benefit long term wise because they know what your program is and they can even break it down with you in your degree works and being like, okay, so you have this plan of doing this much amount of work. We'll try and see what can work out. That way, you're not number one overstressing yourself
Right.
or taking more classes than necessary. Because sometimes that could happen where you're thinking to yourself, I need to take this, this, and that, and whatever. Turns out you didn't really need to take as many classes as you thought you needed,
Right.
or you can take it easy with like a few electives, or strategically place your electives so you're not just drowning yourself in just your major coursework.
Yeah. Like last semester, I took a anthropology class because I thought that's what I wanted my minor to be. And
Mm-hmm.
then like halfway through the semester, I was like, oh wait, I'm gonna be a chem minor because I'm already taking all these classes. And so I didn't even need the anthropology class.
Yeah.
But if I would have like talked to my advisor and told her kind of what I wanted to do, I probably could have avoided taking that class. That class was not my favorite class.
Yeah.
So definitely you want to use your advisor to your advantage. And when it comes to classes that you don't want to take, you're gonna want to know when the drop date is.
Yeah, that's the big thing. So, for those of you who don't know, UTSA does offer the ability for you to drop your classes, and there's specific dates I think that are tied into the dropping of your classes. So, I
Yes.
believe the first date that allows you to drop your classes, you'll be able to immediately drop them without having to affect your grade or anything else like that. In fact, really, they're not even going to put
Yeah.
in your record that,
Without a W.
yeah,
So if you don't know, in college you only get
I believe you get like
three
three or four.
three W's. If not, check with your advisor. But you only get a certain amount of W's. So W's means withdraw from the classes. It shows up on your transcript. When you're gonna want to go to grad school, medical school, dental school, farm school, whatever, they're gonna be like, okay, so what's this W on your transcript? Here at UTSA, we have a certain date. It's called a census date, and so if you drop the class before that date, it's no record that you ever took the class on your transcript. So you
Yeah.
kind of save yourself.
Yeah. And that date is on January 30th.
Yes. After that date, you're going to want to check at myutsa.edu for other dates. Then you get, by a certain date, you get the W, and then after that date, it's an F, or you
Yeah.
can't even drop the class. So you definitely want to check in on those dates.
Yeah.
Because, y'all, if you know yourself, and you know that class is just not for you, or maybe this just isn't the semester for you to take that class, you're going to definitely want to know when those dates are.
Yeah. I know I personally, when I did my undergrad my first freshman year, I thought I was baller thinking I could take like 16 or 17 hours
Yeah.
my first semester in. And it turns out that was way too much for me, and I
Yeah.
ended up having to drop the course that I was taking because it was affecting it way too much, and it was was my lowest class.
Mhm.
So right before the final date to allow me to drop, I dropped it, and it shows up in my transcript that there was like a W. In my previous school, it's a Q. But it tells me that I've dropped that course. But realistically, graduate school, medical school, and everything else like that, they will ask questions sometimes if that
Mhm.
thing does exist, but most of the time you can tell them, hey, this is what was happening, and most of the time they'll understand it. But
Right.
if you drop it way later than that and you see an F right there, you don't want that.
Right.
That's not really good for your record at
I
all.
feel like schools want to know that you know yourself,
Mhm.
and especially when you're going to come into these higher level programs, that you know what is best for you to perform.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like don't feel discouraged to do it because I'd rather perform well in a class when
Mhm.
I'm ready than to take on more than I can chew, which is probably my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
But definitely consider those census dates.
Yeah, those sense of days, and don't be afraid that if you are struggling or you feel like this isn't the best semester to be taking that course,
Right.
you can drop that course because realistically, it at the end of the day, it won't affect your GPA. It won't affect anything that will demonstrate that you are a competent or above and beyond student. It
Mhm.
just shows that you understand yourself better than what you previously did, and that you can understand, hey, this is what I need to cut back on.
Right.
So you don't worry about it. And I think a big thing, especially if you're involved in our organization, is to talk to your mentor right as the start of the semester begins.
Yeah, so we literally get paid to talk to y'all. We are literally the Google of UTSA. If
Mhm.
you need help with anything when it comes to tutoring, if we can't help you, we can find somebody else can. I give this elevator speech to my mentees. If you're watching, hi y'all. I give them this speech all the time. We are literally here to service you. You've signed up for our program.
Mhm.
We are here for you. We have knowledge in things that you're getting ready to take. So use this to the best of your abilities. I think the best thing that I did when I came to college was find a mentor. My mentor is Dr. Paul Rodriguez. He is actually the director for the grant for
Yeah.
our program, and he is an amazing, amazing person. He definitely helped guide me in a lot of my decisions that I did because at one point I really didn't think I wanted to be a doctor, but I do. So definitely use us to your advantage. Please, if you need help, don't be alone. We
Yeah.
got you.
And it's not only just people who are involved in our org, there could be plenty of orgs that you're involved in that also happen to have a mentor or peer mentor of some type, whether it be students like us or actually professors.
Right.
There are several different types of mentors that you can touch base upon, and they are willing to help you in whichever step of the way. I personally recommend to talk to them whenever possible, especially in the beginning, because if you are, like, say for example, you haven't developed like goals, or you haven't really been the type to develop goals in the process of your career, meeting with your mentor and just sitting down with them to develop, even if it's small goals that you can meet every 2, 3 weeks, and then you meet with them or touch base upon with them and be like, hey, I was able to do this, that, and the other,
Right.
shows that number one, that you're willing to commit to meeting with someone every week, and that shows that you're trying to be responsible, you're trying to
Right.
keep yourself in check. Number two, with each one of those successful goals that you accomplish, you're showing yourself that, hey, I can do a lot more than I expected, or just put my mind to it. And you mentioned it, we're basically the Google of us
We
UTSA students.
really are,
We
essentially.
really, you come to us and you ask us for a specific thing, and everybody can be different. I know some of your mentees come to you because being a psychology major, you
Yeah.
get touched upon being like, hey, you want to look at something psychology related. I know mine come to me a lot for graduate studies or graduate level coursework.
Right.
So if you have a question, especially if you know that your mentor is in a certain field or in a certain
Mhm.
position in the university, you could try and see what information you can get from them, and most of them are plenty happy to talk about whatever it is that they are a part of.
Yeah, like bouncing off of that, I'm a psych major, so usually pre-meds are your biology, your microbiome, your chemistry. I've even met a couple physics majors. You don't really see a lot of psych majors that are pre-med,
Hmm.
but I do get a lot of my mentees that are pre-med. So I'm already in the process of applying and taking my MCAT. Um, so a lot of them come to me and ask me, okay, so what professor is good for this, or like how are you studying for the MCAT?
Hmm.
I'm always open to study for the MCAT. I have all the Kaplan books. Um, it's we understand that life happens. We're human. It's also nice to kind of talk to somebody that's your age. I've
That's true.
realized. We understand people have kids, people have dogs, people have boyfriends, girlfriends, a life, you
Yeah.
know. So we're definitely here to aid you in your transition to UTSA and college life because we want you to remember that getting that degree in 4 years or earlier or however long you need to take is the most important thing. So use this to your advantage because we're here.
Yeah, we're always going to be here, and even with our organization, if you are a transfer student or first generation student, and you're involved with us, or maybe you come across this channel and you got interested in what we were talking about, you could always come to our office and we would be able to work with you, especially because we tend to work with a variety of different majors. Like,
Yeah.
there are people who, like you, who are
Hmm.
doing psychology. I know I'm doing psychology, but we have people who are doing stuff like public health, um, what else?
Business.
Business, and a variety of other majors that are available. So with all these resources, you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know if my mentor will be able to understand kind of the struggles or the
Right.
specific things that my major has to deal with. Trust us, we're probably sure that there's someone here who has either taken the
Hmm.
class you have taken or know somebody who have taken that similar class.
Right.
So the thing that we want to do, and as you said, what we pay to do, is to meet with you and make sure that you get the best help that you could possibly get and that you're not feeling as alone. And we offer that not only in a sense of, oh, we offer resources, but we also offer our own, like, I guess ourselves. Like, we
Yeah.
can essentially talk with you. Like, it's not just, it doesn't just have to be business all the time. Like,
Hmm.
we can offer our for services, we can offer you just talking. That's
Right.
something that I
Because
know some people
we're human too. So we've been going through it.
do.
So we understand. We understand what it's like to go through it.
Yeah.
But our office is located in the Flan building. If you don't know where the Flan building is, it's that last building to the Roadrunner to the left. You're
Mm.
gonna see some kind of vending machine in front of it. We're on the third floor, so Flan 3.02.04. Office is open from 9 to 5.
Yeah, usually we're open
Yeah.
9 to 5, and usually there's someone in the office that can meet with you.
Hmm.
Our supervisor and program coordinator is Crystal, so Crystal most of the time will be in the office, in the behind her desk. But if for some reason she's not there, we usually have a few mentors who are there that are willing to take questions about maybe your interest in the organization, or they can just in general help you out if you are just curious about something.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys will use this to your advantage.
Mhm.
Hopefully your semester is going to go smooth. Get ready because midterm's coming up. I just
Yeah.
learned that today.
Already?
Yes,
Oh man,
I was shook. Um,
that's way
but
too fast.
yeah, please stay on top of your classes. Make sure you're doing well. Keep organized. Read that textbook because it helps.
Yeah, keep track of your textbooks
Yeah,
most
don't just let
importantly.
it sit on the desk.
Um,
Yeah.
you don't want it to be a really expensive short
Paperweight.
paperweight.
That's what people call it, paperweight.
Yeah, that's the reason you don't want to end up doing that. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of the things that we talked about today, hopefully you guys take to heart and understand. Next time when we do come back, we will talk about a much more variety of different subjects. Really, this is just so that everyone dip on our toes. I know, at least for me, it's very nervous to, take control of this after Diana left. So I'm still learning how to really learn how to do all this, but I would hope that as the time goes on, we are able to give you guys the sufficient knowledge and skills that we would hope to deliver to you as mentors.
Yeah. So,
Do you have anything you want to say, people?
um, use this.
Yeah.
Just hopefully that you guys are doing well. I know the transition to the semester is really hard because I'm still in my like funk and I'm really really trying to get out of it. So I'm gonna use this weekend to get my stuff together. But definitely see your advisor, use your mentor, get a planner, make sure you're drinking your water, and try to eat more than one meal a day because you need to stay healthy.
Also
So,
exercise.
oh, and exercise. Yeah, he's a runner.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exercising is great for the brain. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
I have to go to a lab.
All right, and I gotta get ready to go to class in a few more minutes. So thank you guys for your time. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream today, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.